The only thing we have to
Beer.
is
Beer.
itself.
Beer. So many choices.
Only no function beer well without.
Woohoo! Beer!
Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Busters, where we're going to bring you the news and reviews of some wonderful brews. My name is Dan Baker, as always joined by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Hefner,
and our household fermenter-tainer,
Wayne Baker.
And if you can't tell by the background noise, we are once again on location somewhere, and I'm very excited to be here. We are at Naked Brewing Company today in northeastern Philadelphia, outlands of that. What is the actual area that we're in?
Lower Bucks County.
Lower Bucks County.
Huntington Valley.
That's what it was.
Yes.
I couldn't think of that.
It's on the paper right in front of you.
I don't know how to read, so I think we've...
Well, at least you made it here.
That's true. Yeah, well,
You
Siri...
weren't supposed to be at prison, were you?
No. Luckily, Siri brought me to the right place.
Nice.
Well, we're very excited to be here. We've got 4 people that were generous to donate some time with us today. And it's going to be kind of in and out because the brewery is open for business, so people are going to be getting up and doing their own. They're helping customers to come into the bar and everything. So essentially, we have 4 people with us, just maybe not all together at once. But right now, we do. So while we have everyone here, if you wouldn't mind going down the row and introducing yourselves.
Brian.
Colin.
Jess.
Jim.
All right. So we have the crew here. Yeah. Wayne's golf clapping.
Very well done. Very well done.
Show.
Yeah, right.
Got that one right.
Does everybody have a fun fact about themselves?
My name is actually James.
There you go. Fun fact.
Or Jess, too.
We're Jess.
Yeah, or Jess.
Jess also.
Correct.
Yeah.
So proper, this show.
Yeah, right. Something like that. Speaking of Jess, now, Jess, we have a sort of Philly beer celebrity with us today. Jess was the 2014 Philly Beer Geek.
Woo!
Round of applause indeed.
It's our second Philly Beer Geek on the show.
Yes, it is.
And
Yes.
the second female Philly Beer Geek
Yes,
on
it
the
is.
show.
Oh, so you
had
had the
Natalie
only other.
also.
The only other.
Good. Yep.
We're stalking you.
Look at us
Pretty much.
blazing trails here at Beer Busters.
Yeah, well, that's what we do, obviously.
That's right.
So I always have to ask, what was it like going through that?
It's just sort of sign your life away for about 2 months. Because, you don't see anybody, talk to anybody. It's just an insane amount of studying and prep and all that. But then when you win, it's awesome, and you get to walk out with a shitload of beer. So, always good.
And everybody becomes your best friend.
Pretty much. You're like, oh my God, can I help you carry that case to the car and then take a bottle from it?
You're not going to drink all that.
Yeah, exactly. Lots of that.
So what was your favorite prize then?
So my fiance was actually helping me unpack everything, and she finds 2 bottles, and she's like, these bottles, it looks like someone dug them out of their basement, like they're dusty and the caps are rusted. I was like, oh my God, give them to me. Scoats down at Grey Lodge gave me an 18-year-old bottle of Old Dominion barley wine
Wow.
and a 15-year-old bottle of Brooklyn Monster Ale barley wine. So, yep, those are my 2 faves.
Oh, man.
Have you cracked
Yeah.
either open
Oh,
yet?
absolutely not.
Yeah.
One is waiting till it hits 20, just so I can say, hey, I drank a 20-year-old beer.
There you go.
And the other one, we'll drink it
You put it in a
sometime.
paper bag and just show
Pretty
it.
much, just sit on the stoop in the hood. It'll be good.
Wait a minute, you told me your favorite prize was the Naked Brewing Growler Club.
Oh yeah, the Growler Club as well. So
there you
useful.
go.
So useful. Actually, it was the prison shirts. You know that.
I'm wearing the bed every night, though.
Oh, man. I sense some hostility.
No, they're good guys.
Yeah.
Love everybody.
Isn't Jeremy using them as bar rags now?
I'm some
He's probably
smack
gonna be
talk
sued
on
over
the
it.
table.
There's no side talk.
Yeah.
We're just prepping it so we can, before we start on Brian.
Yeah, there you go.
Brian's
That's
trying
true.
to censor
Just using
Colin
the butt
over
of
here.
our jokes. Since you just turned, how old? Your birthday was yesterday,
Yes,
right?
yesterday.
Oh, yes, happy belated birthday.
Thank you very much. 47. It's a great year to start a brewery. It's
Hey, over 60.
Absolutely.
Huh?
It's great to lift heavy objects and things like that. It really
Although earlier I saw you telling other people to lift heavy
I'm
objects.
doing much better at
He
that.
means his arm.
Yeah, it's all about delegating.
That's the
Yes.
heavy object. Yeah.
Well, Jim helps me in the bathroom too, which is good.
I'm actually his heavy object. He carries me in this business. So.
Nay.
So, Jess, what was your character at Philly Beer Geek this year that you portrayed?
Professor Jester, Fool of Ales.
Nice.
Someone suggested, I asked the Homebrew Club, and someone came up with that because I'm terrible at coming up with names. And I was like, yeah, that sounds good. I can buy a Jester's hat and put hops on it. I'm in.
Easy
Pretty
enough.
straightforward.
So yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, and I'm a professor, so that also worked. I was like,
Oh, there you go.
Good. All of that works. Done.
Which homebrew club suggested that?
Aliens.
Oh, aliens, yeah.
Of course.
yeah.
Who else?
How many winners do the aliens?
Speaking of, yeah.
Are there? 4.
All of them are pretty much the Humeville except the first guy.
Wow.
Because even though Mashington wasn't aliens officially, he still was out of the Humeville. So we have all of them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
How many has the Burke's Homebrew Club?
A
started?
runner-up.
Yeah, runner-up. Yeah.
Come on, Burks. Got to step up your game.
Close.
It's all right.
It's hard
So-
with the amount of drinking the aliens does.
Yeah.
So, Jess, they have you listed here as the queen goddess of the brewery.
I was gonna
and I
ask
see
about
Jim is
that.
bowing
Yes.
down to you now.
Yes.
Can you explain that
That's
job
evidence.
title a little bit?
I hadn't heard this until there is generally genuflecting when I enter. That's Jim's thing. But
was
yeah,
required.
I saw this on the sheet. I was like, oh, that's entertaining. Pretty much, I think, because I'm usually here with Brian, and Brian's sort of like a ferret on crack, and
Thank you.
I can keep
Thank
him
you.
in line a little bit and be like, no, this is what needs to happen.
So, wait, you have magic powers. is
Yeah,
what
I
you're
do.
saying.
I do. I trained a ferret on crack, basically. It's good. It takes a lot of iced tea and cigarettes, but we get the job done.
Of iced tea and cigarettes.
Whatever it takes.
Very cool. And I have one more question. Sorry, Dan. I know I'm like taking
No,
over your
please. We're all in this together.
So the most important thing for me is this jalapeno beer. I mean, all the listeners know that I am
Surprise.
obsessed
I
with
was
pepper
waiting.
beers.
I
I
was
love to
waiting.
drink them. I love to brew them. So do you want to talk about jalapeno business a little bit?
Jalapeno business.
Yeah, can I just say
love
real
that
quick?
name.
I did not get that until we got here today, and I was like, oh look, they have the jalapeno. Oh, I just got that.
That's it. You need to say it out loud.
You do,
There
yeah.
it is. So the funny thing is, I think when you were at the aliens meeting, I missed you by a bit because I was
Yes.
still teaching at that point. But that was the beer I was bringing with.
Oh, Natalie was trying to get us to stick around, but it
I
just
know.
was getting later and later, and we had to get going.
Yeah. So it's a saison base that I've had for a while, and I just basically found a way to add all of the jalapeno nose and scent and all of that without a whole bunch of heat. And even then, like we toned down the heat a bit here for the average customer.
Sure.
But even so, it's just great. It smells like jalapeno. It's one of those beers, like, as you're drinking it, everyone who comes in and has it, they're like, oh my god, I want this particular type of food. You're like, yes, that's what I love about it. It's a good, like, I want food kind of beer. Yeah, you go pulled pork.
Pulled pork, supreme nachos. Is just
Yes.
That sounds good.
I usually try not to drink before we start
Yeah, we
recording.
cheated and drank a
but
little
as
of
soon
it.
as I need to have
Yeah, you
some
missed
of
that, Dan.
Nice.
That was
Stupid
delicious.
Don't worry, we'll have it.
And my favorite thing is the without all the heat, because Steph's into the hugely crazy spicy beers.
But
We've
if you have the good fresh pepper
but
flavor,
yeah, it's
it's good. I don't miss
perfect.
the heat too much.
Delicious
And where I
jalapeno
am
flavor.
today, I need something to clear up my sinuses.
There you go.
There we go.
Perfect.
She's the queen of the pepper as well.
Oh,
Yeah, but
she
if
makes
you
such
habanero vodka.
she dabbles so well in the pepper beers. I mean, we have a hop beer coming out. It's based off our Hop Spider recipe, a little higher in alcohol than what our base recipe is going to be, and then we decided what we were going to do with it. Had some ideas, so it's going to be Hop Squanchel, which makes me very happy because that word just makes me laugh. And don't look it up on YouTube. But anyway, it's pretty dirty.
Do not Google. Do not Google that.
Well, it's
Not
filthy
Google
and
it right now.
disgusting. But so yeah, it's gonna have habaneros to it and mango habanero IPA about 7.8.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that'll be ready probably the weekend after next, I'm assuming. So that'll be fun.
Delicious.
Yeah, Steph's eyes light up at
Yeah.
habaneros.
Yeah.
Now you know why I wanted to come here so
Yeah.
badly.
oh, Wayne, you want to know what I just put onto here?
Hey, Steph. Those ancho chilies.
Sorry.
The joke fell as flat here as it did when you originally
Yep,
recorded
and
it.
I have that recorded, so I can. Yeah, not like anyone do much better.
Dan is in control. Be careful. He can make you a soundbite.
Yeah,
it's probably going to happen.
Very
Soundbite,
good.
out clips, whatever.
A habanero coffee stout or a coffee pale ale.
Whoa!
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So that's that was actually one I brewed a few times, and I brewed it for some charity event, Beergasm, that they did down at Yards, and actually they asked me to brew that for that event, and it's what it sounds like. It's an American Pale Ale base with locally roasted coffee and habaneros, and that's got that kick of heat.
What's it called?
You drink a pint of that.
What's it called?
En Fuego.
En Fuego.
Yes.
Fuego.
That sounds
Yeah.
awesome.
And yeah, that's
And
a
Mexual-
little burn right here. Just a little,
Keeps
little
building
tickle.
as it goes. I love that beer.
And
It's
then
awesome.
Mexual chocolate.
Mexual
Mexual chocolate.
Mole.
Always. It's very nice.
Chocolate and peppers are meant to go together.
Exactly.
It's delicious. Match made in heaven.
Yes, absolutely.
And what's the TO beer? Driveway sit-ups.
Driveway sit-ups.
More stuff.
We have, for as small as we are, we have an unusually large number of one-off
One-offs.
beers.
Those are the fun ones.
Those are the
though.
That's
ones.
it, yes.
We're trying to
they
figure
really
that
are.
out. It'd be much nicer once we can start selling pints in here, because we're really like almost a brew pub. Like,
It would be nice to be a brew.
yeah, eventually we'll be a production brewery, but
One day.
we're having so much fun at the same time. So.
That's what counts.
So if anybody were coming up to Huntington Valley, now that I know where we are again, they can't get pints here.
We
Not
cannot
yet.
sell pints yet, but
Okay.
according to what's on the
Docket.
Yeah, the PLCB is apparently going to loosen their restrictions on the different on production breweries and allow them to operate more like they already let operate production wineries.
Allegedly.
And they supposedly and hopefully it goes through within the next month and a half or so. So we got to thank Jeremy down in the Chamonix Creek and Victory because they were really sort of at the forefront of pushing the legislation to do this.
awesome.
Because it's gonna make it a lot nicer for small
Yeah.
breweries because you can
Oh, yeah.
because having to get a brew pub license if you ever tried it if you're out there if you're a brewer and you want to make your own brewery, first of all, don't do it. It's a lot of hassle. But no, I'm kidding. it's a lot of fun. But do it when you're 28. And the difference between getting a brew pub and a brewery license is a big difference. When you have a brew pub, you have to basically put a hot dog warmer out, and you got to have food, and the FDA's up your ass. And
Oh,
it's just,
of course.
It's a silly, antiquated law, like most of the stuff in the Quaker
Pennsylvania,
State.
right,
You
yeah.
know, it's just we're adults. I think we can have a couple pints. I mean, I love the way New Jersey's set up.
Hopefully they emulate
Avatar.
something pretty close to that.
Yeah,
They were going to do like the left leg law, where it's like you had to hold your left leg up, and once your left leg went down, you couldn't drink it. No, I was just kidding.
But your buddy can hold your left.
They're
leg
going to
up, which
screw
is
it up
cool.
somehow. They're going to make it difficult, but it always happens. You got to wear a party hat or
Something
something.
silly. Yeah.
But the general argument is now no other business has to give their product away for free. Like,
Right.
Yeah,
right?
like that's
we're-
the only option.
Exactly.
right.
If you come here, we force you to drink for free,
Right.
which is awesome
Oh,
for
it's hard.
customers.
Yeah.
I know it's
Right.
like oh,
And actually, when
right.
you think about it, it's the complete opposite
It's
of
funny.
what you're supposed
Of
to
any
be
other
doing.
business.
And exactly, and the whole point is, I guess, from the law standpoint, is that it's a big difference if you're producing beer than if you're serving it. Because if you're serving it, then you have the liability that people are drinking it.
Well,
But now they're forcing you to
We
let people
still
drink it
have
for
that.
free
We still have
anyway.
the liability
So yeah,
because
exactly.
we have
so,
a tasting room, so
the
yeah.
law has no,
no, there's no
doesn't
real
have
bearing
any
on
sense
way.
to it whatsoever.
Again, it's Pennsylvania, so
About that.
So, Brian, what inspired you and Jim to come together and open this brewery?
Spotlight.
Well,
Jim's like, yeah, why?
me and Jim,
Coors Light.
we were spooning one night.
It was a gentle autumn evening.
We were spooning, and our eyes met under the moon. No, I'm just being silly.
You know, spooning came up on our last episode too.
Did it really?
Yeah, all the best stories involve spooning.
They really do.
And beer.
No, me and Jim started brewing together because he had really had a great setup for home brewing, and I've always been interested, and I'm a math nerd from as per my day job and what we do, and so I was really into science and math and stuff, and so we got together and we were like, well, let's get all your stuff over and we'll brew one day, and we put a batch together, and we did a brown ale, Freckles brown ale. It was a different version that we're doing now. It was the English style brown ale, but it was done with malt extracts and stuff. How you start home brewing, and it came out, and we were like, wow, it was really good. You know, this didn't suck. We hit spot. We hit numbers, and everything happened. So as soon as then we did this next one, and then we did a Doppelbock after that. That was really nice, and we started doing. We were like, wow, this is kind of nice. We never had to bottle our beers. We're spoiled. He had all the corny kegs and stuff. I'm really
You are
spoiled.
spoiled.
I'm spoiled. Never had to worry about bottling shit. I am really living like a child. So we did that.
Suckled at the proper teeth.
At the proper teeth. Within roughly, I think within 6 months we were LLC'd. It took us about 6 months to come together to sort of go, hey, talk to our wives about it, sit down and go, hey, we want to make a business. This will be a good idea. Now I think 4 years later they would have gone back and went, maybe not such a great idea because they never see us and we're here all the time.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, we're I guess only the second brewery in Pennsylvania was licensed in a residential facility. We were licensed at Brian's garage, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
In a residence.
We had both those walk-in boxes you see over there crammed into half my garage. The all the stuff put in the ceiling, all the
Grains,
compressor, grains in the ceiling, a small the room we're in right here where we're doing this is as big as the entire brewery was, roughly. And so we would brew with that setup in there. It was absolutely insane. It was a great time.
Was it tough to get the permit?
Yeah, it was really tough. We have so many people to thank for helping us do that. Breaker Brewing Company was really instrumental in kind of leading the way. They were nice enough to post a lot of the letters and a lot of the variances that you had to put in. They posted online. I downloaded it. I copied, pasted, and changed my name. And I'm really good at plagiarism. I went to college, so I'm very good at that. But so we did that, and then we really have our township to thank. I mean, Lower Southampton Township and our State Representative Mike Fitzpatrick. He was really instrumental in getting us licensed. It took us 18 months in federal licensing to get the thing done. We just kept getting sort of pushed along, and we met somebody by happenstance that knew him, texted him, and said, "You'll get a call on Monday." And that was a Saturday. We got a call on Monday. We were licensed that Thursday.
Wow.
So yeah, he worked wonders for us. So every time we see him, we're just like, Mike Fitzpatrick. If a vote comes up, please vote for Mike Fitzpatrick. He enjoys beer. Don't think about Democrats or Republicans. Just vote for Mike.
Vote
we
for
love
beer.
The guy.
The beer party.
Vote for beer.
Yeah, it was kind of the fun thing. I mean, we wanted to be. So I've been homebrewing over 20 years, and I'm a social brewer. So like you said, I dusted the equipment off kind of because he wanted to brew and did that. So we're like, let's give it a shot. And
Jim slummed to brew with me. That was nice.
Exactly. Well, you had a nice facility to do it. So, and basically our kids were out of mine were out of daycare at the moment, so I needed something for a tax shelter. So that's why we decided to start the business.
It worked.
It was the idea behind it. Yeah, but. No, you're right. We always wanted to say we're going to start off slow because this is a secondary business for both of us, and we wanted to be in that first echelon of new breweries with the Chamonix Creek and Free Will and Round Guys and Forest and Maine and Tired Hands. And we're like, even though we're not quite as prepared as those guys we were with the toe in the water, we wanted to be in that first grouping going forward, and because we knew it was going to cascade further over as it went along. So it was kind of nice to get our name out there. We really pushed a lot with merchandise and stuff like that at the very beginning, even though we were producing very little. So it was kind of like getting your name out there. And all. But again, in the end, it's all about, it's got to be a consistent quality product. I mean, all of this fun and pomp and circumstance is great and all, but if you want to keep people coming back,
you make crappy beer.
You got
people do that. Appreciate it.
And we were laughing about all the one-off beers, and it's probably a function of the fact that 25% of our sales are our pomegranate wheat. It's a good beer. It's just not, we made that beer to get like, hey, lady, for the wise. Right. Look, hey, you like this beer, don't you? This is really good. Maybe we can keep making this beer over here. You know what? That's a pretty good idea. Yeah, you can do that. So
it was supposed to be our summer seasonal, and we were getting calls for it. We
can't.
We were getting calls for it in October, November. We're like, crap.
We don't.
I guess we got to make it.
We don't use the phrase flagship here. We use tent poles.
Tent poles. Thank you.
Tent poles. Okay, tent pole beers.
Sounds dirty too. I like it.
Exactly. That's why we say it. Yeah, we're I said Naked Brewing is not. We're not overtly sexual. We're not the Hooters of brewing.
Right.
It's more tongue in cheek kind of a thing.
Well, I was just going to say you were talking about getting your name out there. Yeah. Where did the name Naked Brewing come from?
We all sat around.
Another spooning session.
This involved the wives though out back.
So we all sat around with big lists and said, put down. Originally, what was
Big Dingus Beer?
That was the original. Big Dingus Beers.
You have to go back. You guys are probably too young to remember the Bartles and James commercials. That we're in our 40s over here. So there was these commercials on Bartles and James. It was two guys. It was pretty fun. So in our college years, I would bring home the video camera recorder. You probably don't even know what that is. It's about the size of Brian's head.
Yeah. Pretty close.
And we would have parties and we would make up our own commercials. And so we would have, Big Dingus beer and Big Breastus wine coolers and get laid whiskey. Because let's face it, that's all you really want to do is get laid. So, going back through these, VHS tapes, we would laugh about that. You know what? That's just a funny name for a brewery. I'm like, I don't think we could get that through, PLCB or whatever. But,
right.
So, and we at Brian's house, we were using well water to brew with and composting the grains, and and I think it was Kathy who was like, it's just a really natural way to brew, and it's, I know that's kind of cliche and it's artisan and all like that, and that's true. But like, well, what's a more fun way than natural? We're like, well, make it. It's kind of a, and so it kind of goes with that. It's also our philosophy really in everything that we do. I mean, we don't really have a lot of ego involved in what we're doing. Like I say, that's the best pale you ever had because we made it and we're Siebel graduates and all that. Listen, we're exaggerated home brewers. I mean,
Yeah, really.
We just took it to the next level, and we make beers that we like to drink, and hopefully other people do too, and they come along with us for the ride. And it's a beautiful environment at this time. It's so different, than it was in, say, the 90s and all, and it's just, it's a great experience.
People at the bar are allowed to talk, by the way. It's too quiet. It's way too quiet.
Cape May
here.
Brewing. My favorite place to go when I'm in Cape May.
It's way too quiet.
We have to be careful. Our insurance guys here.
Yeah.
All right, put the fire away.
So, Colin,
Pick those safety glasses up
what's
off the
your
floor.
role here at the brewery? How did you get involved with the guys here?
I would come here on Fridays to
Saturdays.
drink with them.
And Sundays.
And Sundays.
And Tuesdays.
And, buy beer. And then Jim and Brian were talking one night. I've known Jim for like 25
I was going to say,
years.
I've known Colin as long as I've known my wife. So it's
Yeah.
like 25, 26 years.
So they were
Now
talking.
the spooning makes so much more sense.
Exactly.
It helps you develop a good recipe. Yeah.
Holding
That
hands
intimacy.
too, But Jim and Brian were talking.
I don't need any inspiration over here. I'm good.
We could come up with a new beer together. It could be a pale ale.
So Jim and Brian have day jobs, and they were talking about all the work they had to do coming up in the week or whatever. And I was like, if you need help, just let me know. And they let me know. That was about a little over a year ago, and they can't get rid of me. So
That's it. Stuck around. He's
chloroform.
invaluable. Yeah.
I prefer chloroform.
Tricks of the trade.
Colin came in the first week, and I said, "What is this? Does this rack smell like chloroform?" He's never left.
And he falls for it every night.
Every time.
He's affectionately known as the Gimp.
Yes.
He's in the box.
Every brewery needs a good gimp.
Exactly.
And that's true. He's really our right hand man.
Instrumental.
And in order to grow, going back when we were at Brian's house, you have to picture okay, we're coming home from work. I'm getting at his house at 4:00 after working all day. Then we're brewing till 12 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock in the morning, and then going back to work. And it's like, and even as we got to here, we're like, this is just ridiculous. We can't, at some point,
We're
and it's a
pulling
business,
80-hour weeks.
Yeah,
basically.
and in order to grow, we need to be, our attention needs to be in other places as well. As much fun as we do, and we reserve Saturdays most of the time for usually Brian, but one of us brews on that day to kind of keep. We try and go to every event that we can, at least one of us, to just keep that face time with everybody and all. But honestly, without Colin, it wouldn't be possible because he's here every night for us and gets just the dirty work that nobody wants to deal with. Nobody sees it. It's critical to producing good beer.
Unsung hero.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It really is. So
I like the dirty work. I don't mind it at all.
It's not.
When everybody leaves, he gets to put a thong on and traipse around.
Exactly. Yeah.
His Daisy
Play your
Dukes.
music.
It's
a great place to work.
You told me you took those cameras down,
I
Brian.
never took them down. You're just called webcam. That's how we're making our money and keeping the doors open.
Yeah, we actually don't make most of our money from beer.
The Naked Brewing YouTube channel.
Yes, absolutely. You're trending in Germany. David, you're preaching with David Hasselhoff.
Getting close.
Getting close.
Now the name makes more sense.
Yes, it does. It does.
There's a roundabout way we got back. What were we talking about again?
That's a good question.
We ended up on thong somehow.
Yeah.
Thong.
I do that often.
I was waiting for somebody to start
Got
singing
it. Sorry.
You have to.
Just have to.
You have to.
I'm thirsty.
All right, so now that we've gotten to know the people here at Naked Brewing, two of them have had to leave the table because it is a business.
But they have been replaced by beer.
Yes, and that's while the beer is less talkative, I'm excited to drink it. So what do we have in front of us right now?
First one we're going to try is a Ginger's Pumpkin Spice Wheat. Oh, don't touch me, Jim. Ginger's Pumpkin Spice Wheat's a 4.6% wheat beer. It's been flavored with pumpkin pie spices. No pumpkins were harmed in the making of this beer. Brewing with pumpkin's okay. I really don't think you get a lot out of it. When you think of a pumpkin pie, you don't think of pumpkin. You think of spices.
Spices that
Think
are
of
in it,
cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, clove, things like that. And then we figured what else goes good with that, but fresh grated ginger because it kind of plays well with it. So we went through a couple different versions of it. We finally zeroed in on what we think is a good mix. The ginger's in the background, but it plays nicely with the pumpkin pie spices, and we use a lot of honey in this one as well. So nice balance.
I would say so. Yeah.
I love what the ginger brings to it, especially
Nice.
at the end. It makes it more refreshing than I think most pumpkin beers, because a lot of pumpkin beers can be overly sweet or overly
heavy,
spiced,
yeah.
and you can't
Usually-
drink more than one. But this is very refreshing.
They're usually like
dried
8. Most pumpkin-based beers are also done at on some sort of brown ale, some sort of
Yeah.
something that's just
Right.
a big 8%.
A heavier style.
Right. So it's kind of already got a little bit of chewiness to it. It's a big beer to begin with, and it really the spices spices hold nice to it. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of them out there I do like, but I like ours. It's a nice lighter version of the pumpkin beer, and I was really happy we kind of zoned in.
Yeah, and I think a lot of pumpkin beers that do have the heavier base beers work well as like a pumpkin pie dessert beer.
Yeah.
This is a pumpkin beer with the wheat base that you could drink with a meal.
Yeah.
Sure.
Rather than saving
Right.
it for afterwards. Yeah.
This is the first pumpkin beer I've had this season,
And it's September, so that's okay.
I know it is okay, which is good.
We just put it on today because
Perfect.
we hate putting these beers out in
Like July.
Yeah, they keep pushing it
gets
further.
bad.
Every year it's another week ahead.
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
Let's be honest about it, Brian. You wanted it last weekend, and
I did. Oh my God, the
refused.
last
I was like,
weekend
you
was
can put
fun.
it on. I won't pour it. No,
We
not
asked-
September.
I'm telling you, I
Queen
know who's in
Goddess
charge
spoke.
here.
Yep.
Queen Goddess spoke, and we listened.
That's right.
But this is it's-
Queen Goddess has the last word on everything.
Yes, there you go. This is definitely a good way to start the pumpkin season. I'm very happy with what I have in front of me here.
Yeah, and I like that it's not the spices aren't like punching you in the face.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
you're
nice
right.
and subtle and balanced.
There are some that are out there that they overdo it for the sake of overdoing it. Like, what was it? Pumpkin? Was that the one that was really strong?
You mean Fruity Pebbles?
Yeah, pumpkin is very much breakfast cereal.
Yeah, it
tasting.
tastes like breakfast cereal to me. It doesn't taste like pumpkin. But anyway.
Yeah, but
speaking of, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, go ahead. You do it all the time.
Chug, you rube.
Oh.
Wow, passive aggressive much.
That was nice. I'm impressed.
I think I lost my will to say what I was going to say. No, we speaking of pumpkin beers coming out early and Pumpkin, in our newsletter, Steph always does a quick pick brews where she picks 3 beers and gives a little rundown of what they are. And one of them she did a couple weeks back was Pumpkin, and she said buy a bottle now and save it till
Yeah,
September.
that's an
and I
order.
added until September. That's an order.
Yep, I remember that.
Dun, dun, dun. So
very
I
nice.
see Jim, I think, purposely left the table for this one
Yes, he
because
did.
we're drinking his not-so-favorite beer next.
He loves this
He
beer.
likes the beer. It's just
He's over. He didn't know. He wasn't expecting to be as popular as it was. I embrace its popularity, and I drink quite a bit of it. It doesn't bother me.
So for those who may be wondering, this is the pomegranate that we have in front of us.
This is the very similar wheat recipe that we use. That we use for the ginger. The base whisper, the base
You've only
wheat,
had one.
I know. What the hell? It's all the heroin. No, I'm just kidding. It's starting to get to me.
That's what you were doing when you disappeared.
Shh. The base wheat recipe that we use is it's really a nice 4.6 base wheat. It really lets some of the honey through, leaves a little behind it. We use an American ale yeast on it because our wheat recipe we don't want a hef. We didn't want it to be a hef. We want it to be a nice clean finishing beer. And we really played with a lot of different ways and a lot of different types of this when we were in the garage. And then we really kind of zoned in on this one as being our favorite as it came out, and it really does well. I know that Head House Crab House in downtown in South Philly, it's been on consistently. We're on their menu, and even though we've had our distributor issues recently, and they'll call me up and I'll put it in the back of my Ford Fiesta and drive it down to them. And it's fun to do. It's always nice to lug half kegs of beer throughout Philadelphia. But no, it's been continually successful, so I have no problems with this beer. It's really nice base wheat that we can use for it, and about 3 different beers we make off that base wheat recipe.
More than that.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, because we've got the beer we do for the Buck Hotel, which is basically a hoppy wheat.
Yep.
Then
Buck
we've
Naked.
got Buck Naked, of course. How could you not?
Sells itself.
It does.
And then we've got ginger, blackcurrant, and palm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of these times we got to do the base wheat just by itself, because by itself it's really a good wheat beer.
I
without
think
any
using the base
flavoring.
for a white IPA, maybe.
Maybe. Well, I mean, yeah, we can do something. I like the way you think.
That sounds awesome.
Whatever Queen Goddess wants. She gets.
I gotta say, like with this one, I normally don't like pomegranate because it's in your face. So much like pumpkin was, it's there, but it's not an overpowering flavor to it. And you get that wheat underneath it too, which is such a great compliment to it.
We always try, again, everything's about balance. I was always trying to strike a balance. It took a while to get to where we figured out where it would be. We used to add stuff in fermenters. It would ferment out the flavor. You wouldn't get in the nose. You may get a little bit in the mouth, but the nose would go away. So we finally got procedures dialed in pretty well to where it's probably the most. It's one of the, I would say, hopefully all the beers we do are consistent. But I mean, I've had this in a million different places, and every time I have it in a place, it's like bam, it's the same. Yeah, which makes me real happy.
What I like about it is the pomegranate does really come out in the nose, and then it's not as strong in the flavor as it is
Right.
in the aroma, and I like that because I think if it kept that level, it would be a little too much.
It would be too much. Be like drinking candy, and that's no fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you like drinking candy.
Yeah, it depends on the candy.
Exactly.
Depends on the occasion.
True.
Yeah, this is really refreshing on a hot summer day. I could drink this all day, you know?
Yeah.
And he does.
And he does.
Who can blame you?
And
In
I
a
know
thong.
that Jim mentioned like
Don't forget the thong.
I know that Jim mentioned that this was like the beer for the wives and the ladies, but it's a fruit beer that I think a guy would drink too because
We get so many compliments on it at Beer Fest. That's what really sort of turned us a little on it because we take it to Beer Fest. People go, "Oh, I love this pomegranate beer." We have lines for the pomegranate beer, and it just really does well. So good feedback from it. I'm really happy with it. I like all my beers.
Yeah. And this
They're all
beer,
my
absolutely.
I love them all equally.
It's the beer that we say women love and men are afraid to admit that they like.
Exactly.
That's a good way to put it.
But it's absolutely the one fruit beer that I've seen and served that definitely breaks that gender stereotype. I fill more growlers for men on palm wheat than
Certainly.
I do women, hands down. Actually, a lot of the women that come in here, they want the hop spider, the pales, the sours, all that stuff. The guys are all, well, I'll take palm wheat, please.
It's the
Palm
manly
wheat.
way of getting your fruit.
It is, yeah, that's
Absolutely.
it. There's vitamins in there,
Stick an
right?
umbrella in there too.
Good for you.
Oh, of course we heckled them on the way out, but it's part of the naked experience. Come in, buy our product, and they get heckled. It's very fun.
So Jess, why don't you introduce our next delicious offering in front of us?
Jalapeno business.
Which Wayne only poured like a third of his glass.
I saw that. That was nice.
Well, we're going a little fast, so I'm trying to.
Oh, that's okay.
Pace yourself, yeah.
He doesn't want to crawl out of here.
Yeah.
I'm a guzzler.
So yeah, it's a Saison base, jalapeno, all up in it. Comes in at 6.2%. Since we don't have glycol systems here, we had this wonderful way of ramping up the temperature that included wrapping it in electric blankets that have a lovely safety feature that shut them off like every 12 hours. So every 12 hours, someone's here like unplugging them, plugging them back in. And so we got a little bit of that yeasty
That was
ester.
Colin's job to sit there.
That
and
was
wait
it.
until it shut off.
Colin,
and plug
you
it
sit
back
by the
in,
blankets.
and then just sit there again
Yep.
for 12 hours. Oh,
Yes.
plug it back
Apparently,
in.
there's video of this somewhere. I'm not sure, though.
You can Google it. You'll find it on the internet. Well, as we mentioned earlier, this is a fantastic beer.
It's so
It
good.
really captures the jalapeno flavor, and for
Ooh, yeah, it
a
does.
spice pussy like me, it's not hot.
Actually, I'm not real big on spices either, but I told Jess this is awesome. It's like biting into a pepper and not getting the burn.
And not getting the heat.
Not
Yeah.
having your face
It's
all
strictly
Yeah.
flavor.
Yeah,
exactly. It's not like what is it, Crime and Punishment?
Yeah. No, I like punishment better than crime.
Oh.
They were the same. to me.
Ghostface Killer.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Oh, I
Ghostface
love
Killer.
that.
I have a few in my fridge right now, actually.
That's a lovely
Or
beer.
your Stoke the Coals.
The
One of the-
habanero Rauch beer.
Yeah, there was two batches I've heard
So
I tried.
good.
One of them was insanely spicy.
Nice.
Batch 2 was very hot.
Yeah, it
Which
was
I
batch 2.
loved.
Batch 1 was good because it had mellowed out as it
Yeah.
aged. Yeah.
Please
Yeah.
bring by the very hot one.
The hotter the better.
Exactly, especially in a Roush beer. That's awesome. I like that.
Yeah, it was the perfect balance. Because my brother, he loves smoked beers, and I love spicy beers. So I was like, well, why not
There's
marry
the
the
two.
two? And it is amazing. I brew it every year, usually around before Christmas time. It's like our Christmas beer.
Did I try that? I don't know if I tried that.
Probably. You've
I'm
tried
sure
pretty
you
much
have at some
everything I
point,
yeah.
brewed.
That was like the first beer, Jess, that I tried of hers at the Aliens Brew Club was her habanero coffee pale. Now she brought a growler or two of it, and I had a little sippy cup, and I was more, must drink more. I think I drank half the growler. It was really.
You and Jim kicked
we
that growler.
housed
The
it.
three of us, yeah.
And I remember I'm downstairs going, why does my tummy feel bad? What is wrong with me? Oh my God! The next day I was, oh yeah, that's definitely a hot beer. It was so good, so good. It's like, do I have VD? Oh no, I don't have VD. I'm just peeing hot peppers. It was great.
You should do another.
And then I got treated for VD.
You should do another spicy beer and call it "Do I Have VD?"
Done. Write that down.
Write that down, please. We steal all good ideas. Do I have VD? I like that.
I think that's our hashtag for today.
Hashtag "Do I Have VD?"
I have to write that down so I don't forget it.
The hashtag of the day. That's what
Very nice.
That might make an appearance in a future edition of Libation or Fabrication until it becomes a real
See
beer.
if I remember.
Yeah.
You
like to do
won't,
that.
and neither will
won't.
I.
I never remember anything. So I kind of know we didn't do a new segment today, but and I know we have 2 more in this tasting segment. Dan, you had a really interesting news story that you had brought along that we were talking about at the bar. Do we want to maybe talk about that before we pour the next beer?
Sure, let's hit the button.
We don't want Wayne to get too drunk.
All right, so let's wait for the interwebs to load so I can pull this story up.
Can I drink the old beer while you're doing this?
Sure.
Absolutely.
I have to make sure that I don't drink much of it right now because I have to read, and that's hard enough as is. All right.
That's why his segment is early on in the show.
Yeah, before I start getting drunk. All right, so am I just doing the one we were talking about? I have 3, but I can save 2 of them, even though they'll be
It's
long
your
gone.
choice, but I know you really wanted to talk about that.
All right. So I'll do 1.5 because the other one's not really about craft beer. So, anywho, there is a Norwegian brewery that found themselves in a little bit of trouble. There was a flaw in their manufacturing process that created a drink with stomach-churning properties, and it was found that contamination in the bottling system led to a bad odor in many of the beer cans. A buildup of lactic acid in cans led to an unpleasant smell of sulfur and rotten eggs. The contamination was particularly rife when the weather was at its warmest in the summer.
Was that beer called Do I Have VD?
No. It was actually, I can't pronounce it because it's Norwegian, but it looks like Isbjorn. I'm going to go with that.
Is that with an O with the line through it?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know how you say that.
Yes, and the brewery is Mac Brewers in Tromsø, and the second O in Tromsø has a line through it. I don't know if that makes it any different. But basically, because of the issue in the bottling, it basically smelled like farts.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yummy.
Yeah. The director of Mac Brewers, Roger Carlson, said to a local journalist that these bacteria are not dangerous. They're normally used in acidic milk products such as yogurt, which apparently they spell with an H, Y-O-G-H-U-R-T, but can give an unpleasant smell and taste in beer. The smell can be anything, can be like anything from lemon and vinegar to rotten fish or farts. It is something caused by, among other things, decomposition of the proteins in the beer.
I could imagine doing like a tasting of that and being like, I'm getting flatulence.
Yeah. Now here's something
You've
that's
clearly never done an off-flavor beer training.
Man.
Not trading, but I've tasted some off flavors.
Any customer who purchased 12 packs of the Isbjorn beer could have received cans of foul-smelling liquid. The brewery has attempted to retrieve all cans, but has not got them all back yet, probably because they were consumed in one way or another. The affected beer has an expiration date of October 22nd and 23rd. Customers who have bought the beer will get their money back from the brewery, which is kind of cool. So if you find yourself drinking a Norwegian fart beer, you can get your money back for it.
Wow. They should have just owned it and pretended that they did it on purpose. Like they just wanted to make some wacky, crazy foul beer, you know?
Yeah.
We put Jelly Belly farts in it.
Yeah.
We were going for that.
Now, the other thing I would like to go over very quickly is something that I kind of like. With football season upon us, the folks over at Thrillist, which I've mentioned them before a couple of times, they've created a pretty big list of the perfect beer for every team in the NFL. Their selections aren't necessarily...
Sports.
Yes.
Please tell me that the Patriots is a Jack's Abbey beer. Please, please.
Just wait. You'll see.
You'll hear.
Yeah. The selections aren't necessarily the best beer in the city, but they reflect the character of the city, its team, and current or former players. Now, to save time for this, because we're already so over time, which is cool because we've had a lot of fun so far. If you go to beerbusterspodcast.com, there's going to be a link to the article, which, Wayne, I'm going to send you.
Only if you remind me.
Yes. Wayne link written down. So
Can we beg for some high points? Can we beg for some teams? Can you enlighten us in a couple?
Sure, we can do that.
Patriots.
And well, at Thrillist, they have a full reasoning as to why every beer is labeled as that. All right, so obviously we want the Patriots now because Steph, for some reason, likes New England sports. Yes,
no,
Jack's
she just likes
Abbey.
Jack's Abbey.
Yeah, Jack's Abbey, the Copper Legend.
Yes, that's awesome. Seriously?
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Pittsburgh Steelers, we have Pittsburgh Brewing Company's Iron City Beer.
What about Philly?
Philly.
Victory Yards.
I like this one. Yards Love Stout.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yeah,
Very good.
I'm very happy with that.
That'll warm you up.
Very good.
Yep.
Very good. Washington Redskins.
Washington
for Colin.
Redskins, DC Brow, the Public.
Ooh, delicious
Yeah,
beer.
there you go.
Wow, I guess Pittsburgh really got the shittiest one there.
Not true. Not true.
Okay.
Miami Dolphins, the remnants of a mojito in a solo cup.
Very good.
Wow.
I feel better.
Wait, it really says that?
Yes,
That's
yes.
hilarious.
I even copied it and put it in blue, so I made sure to mention that one.
That's funny.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah, Thrillist has a really good sense of humor. If you want to go, just to go over some other big ones, the Cowboys are Deep Ellum, the Dream Crusher Double Rye IPA.
Yum.
In honor of mine and Wayne's father, the Detroit Lions are Detroit Beer Company. The Detroit Dwarf is the name of that beer.
Never heard of that one.
Yeah.
What about like the Raiders? Oakland has a lot of good beers.
Oakland
in that
Linden
area.
Street Brewery Town Lager?
Does San Francisco have a team?
Yes,
sure.
49ers.
49ers. Okay, what about the 49ers?
21st Amendment Brewing.
Back
Bitter
in black?
American.
Oh, Bitter American.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping for Hell or High Watermelon.
Wow, it's football season.
Seattle.
You figure Seattle and Denver will have the best ones. They got some really
True.
good breweries.
Yep.
Seattle is Hillard, the 12th can, and then Denver was Wits End Brewing, Bitter Late Than Never.
Oh, very nice. All right, very good.
Yeah.
There's
so
some
the
interesting beers on that list.
yes,
I approve because it's a pun.
yes, of course. The Buffalo Bills also had Labatt Blue, so I don't know what's worse, Labatt or the Mojito.
That's tough.
Well, it
Yeah.
is Buffalo.
Yeah, that's true.
Iron City
Iron
might be below
City.
both of them. Yeah. Yes.
Or Iron City. Yeah.
There's so many good breweries in Pittsburgh.
There's another one that Steph, I think you'll like. Indianapolis Colts, Three Floyds, Alpha King.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So the article will be linked on BeerBustersPodcast.com.
Wait, what about the Packers?
The Packers will
Sorry.
be New Glarus Brewing
Meisterbrow.
Serendipity.
We are tasting that next week, by the way.
Are
we? Oh, we are? Really?
John bought
John's
a bottle of
bringing that?
Serendipity, and he's bringing
Preview
All right.
of the next episode of Beer
Yes,
Busters.
so be sure to download the following episode of BeerBusters Podcast because we'll be tasting
which
the beer
will be
we
a
just mentioned.
special episode.
It will.
We're not going to give any
Not that
details.
this episode
Foreshadowing.
isn't special or anything.
It's
a
just
special format.
It's a different format.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Which-
before the news segment ends, I was just wondering if my beer farts are even worse after drinking that.
The fart beer.
The fart beer. I mean, they're pretty bad now.
The Joy City next to you.
Well, if you contact Mac Brewers, you might get
You
some.
need to get a hold of that.
Yeah.
Drink it. Come in here.
Try it out on Brian.
Fart at Brian and be like, "We need to bottle that."
I love it.
You might get a couple euros out of it.
Good stories, Dan.
All right, so
Next,
we have up. There's another beer that has been poured in front of me.
More beer.
What
Naked Pale.
Ooh,
Oh,
I like both of those words.
Smells delicious.
Yeah, we like our pale ale to be on the higher end of sort of the hops, and this is like a 5.6 pale ale. You get a nice hop feel from it. It's balanced. You get some of the, you still get the malt and stuff, but you definitely get a little hop pinch from it, which is it's on the higher end of a pale ale, and probably on the lower end of an IPA, real low end.
Right on the cusp.
Yeah, we go Summit all on the end on that. So you actually, especially when it's really, really fresh, you get a bit of earthiness, onion, garlic kind of thing going on, which is now why I love Summit. Yep.
You like Summit hops?
Oh, now I do.
Uh,
I do.
I've turned you.
You've turned me.
Took me a while. Yeah, I'm a
I
big-
like the balance with the maltiness and the sweetness. You get a nice sweetness in the aroma, actually.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, it's a very fun beer to brew.
This is my go-to beer usually when I'm here.
Me too.
Yeah.
When we didn't have it for a month and a half. We had a infection issue go through like 3 of our fermenters, and in dialing everything in, we had to just slow down production and make sure of stuff and dump
taste
a
like farts?
lot of beer. No, it's just had a big diacetyl punch. It just tasted like basically dog shit. It wasn't good. Some people were like, "Oh, it's fine." Well, I mean, that ain't fine, dude.
So
It's
there's
just
two
shit.
things that come out of your ass, and it was either farts or toothpaste. You went with that one.
Yeah, and it wasn't what I would call. It wasn't up to our standards. This is much more like what we do.
I would hope dog shit was not up to your standards.
Well, if I dip it in ranch dressing. I don't give a shit. If you give me ranch dressing, I'll tough it out.
He'll take anything in ranch.
Anything in ranch dressing, basically. I'm one of those
man.
guys.
It's like ranch dressing and cheese are magical that way. You put them on
Jesus
anything.
I used to put ranch dressing on pizza all the time.
Oh.
So good.
It's amazing.
It's so good.
Especially when it was the really, really lunch pizza at school. Oh, you had to dress it up
It
somehow.
It was suddenly gourmet with the ranch.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
it.
Cheese and buttermilk stuff, you're missing out.
Oh, I remember. It's not like I've always been a vegan. I mean, come on now. The crust, I would always eat the pizza and
And
then
then
save
crust
the
dip.
crust, and crust would go in the ranch.
Yeah, so you have your own
Yes.
breadstick built in.
Yes,
See, that's how you
delicious.
roll. That's smart.
Yep, Hop Spider.
This is the Hop Spider. Now, I would say that this is our previous version of Hop Spider, which was a much higher alcohol version, and our last batch is going to become the
Hop Squancho.
Hop Squancho, which will be available in a couple weeks. But we'll talk about that. But the Hop Spider we were going for a DIPA, something that was on a low DIPA, and we like it. in brewing it and in going through our production processes that we have here, which are, I mean, you look around here, and I don't want anybody listening to this thinking that somehow this is some massively big brewery when you walk in and you're going to see a bunch of cool stainless stuff. It's a small brewery. And so to brew big beers on a small brewery, first of all, cost effectiveness becomes one thing, and to get the hop punch out of a huge beer, you really have to have better equipment than what we currently have. So we decided to dial it back to about a 6.3%. So the next round, which will probably be ready by next weekend as well, will be our 6.3 version, which a lot more the nose I think is going to come through. But it's still got the nice bitter. I really like this beer a lot.
Yeah. And so this from our previous versions of Hop Spider also, which dealt with dry hopping. We had some infection issues on that end. What we ended up going with was an entirely late edition hop recipe. So you've got 3 or 4 ounces at 60 minutes. Everything else is 15 minutes and later.
Yeah.
Including like into the whirlpool and all. So we've upped the hops since this one, and it's just huge aroma, not a ton of bitterness. So it's nice working at the bar when I hear people, oh, I don't like IPAs, they're so bitter. Like, this is a nice non-bitter IPA that you can slide in there and be like, now you do like IPAs. Enjoy.
I got you.
Yeah.
It's weird you get people that say they don't like IPAs because normally the craft beer crowd, they start off with that.
Usually, but I get a lot of
drug,
the palm wheat devotees who are just very much like, I like the fruit beers and that's it. I hate IPA. Okay, we'll drink this.
Yeah.
I've got several in the last few weekends. They're like, damn it, I like it now. Why?
Look what you've done.
It is definitely, I think it would make a good beginner IPA.
Sure.
Because it doesn't have that intense bitterness. It's got more of the flavor qualities of the hops than the bitter
If
qualities.
you would have handed this to me when I was drinking nothing but Miller and Bud and all that crap.
At least I used to drink Yingling before
So
I drank
there was
craft
Yingling.
beer.
So I started out with Miller and Bud, and then I got to Yingling and realized, all right, so dark beer is good. And then I did away with Miller and Bud. But if you would have handed me this, I would have loved. I mean, I do love it now, but this I would have realized I love this stuff sooner than later.
Back in the days of that video of you drinking out of the little hugs.
What, on the Beer Busters podcast MySpace?
On the MySpace. Yes, we have a MySpace.
But again, when you talk to some brewers, I mean, you talk to a lot of these guys, and it makes me laugh because I've when you read a lot of articles and you hear about like, well, when you go home at night, if you're going to sit there and watch a football game, when you do this, what do you drink? And a lot of them are not ashamed to say, I drink Miller Lite. I drink Coors. I drink so much hoppy shit constantly. I drink so much big beer that every once in a while I just want to kind of get drunk and not even think about it. I want to drink soda.
Right.
I want to drink soda that's going to get me drunk and let me deal with my wife and kids.
Right.
And I'm totally for that. It doesn't bother me. So I have no. I don't poo-poo the Miller Lite, Coors Light, Bud people. Well, Bud people, thank you. But because they make Bud with rice malt, and that is just nasty. And that gives you a headache. And all the Bud drinkers that get those bad hangovers, quit drinking Bud. Go to something else. It has rice in it. Rice is horrible. Thank you. My soapbox is over.
Just drop the mic. Well, I would say drop the mic, but please don't drop the mic.
We'll not. It's much too pretty.
I say we play a game.
Yeah, let's play a game.
Shall we?
We can step with all the segues now.
I know.
Come on.
Well, you're not like feeling well today, so I'm trying. I got your back.
That's
today.
your excuse? At least that's the excuse you're doing. Never mind.
Before we start, I'm doing this paperless for the first time ever because I didn't get a chance to print it, so make sure I can bring it up on my Kindle here.
Go environment. All right, I'm going to hold
Yeah,
off
we'll
on.
say that's why
Oh,
I did.
hey, more beer magically appeared in front of me.
Sorry about
Thank you. Oh, you act like I'm complaining. What?
Oh, good. I don't want that to slow you down.
No. If anything, it'll speed me up.
Brian doesn't want the beer to go to waste, I don't think.
Well, I'm very cheap. Play your game, guys. I apologize.
Oh, you're included.
Oh, I'm in it?
We're all playing the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this.
I thought I was just watching. Damn, I was gonna heckle you.
Dude, there's music and everything.
Oh, hell yeah.
Shut up.
You don't have to shut up. So on today's edition of Happy Fun Time Games, we are going back to our roots with the return of Beer Busters Brain-Bending Brew Trivia. Yes, the one
been a
that
while.
started it all. This gritty reboot of the battle of intellect that began an era now comes with the sleek and modern updated technology of multiple choice. This is a simple, straightforward, no-nonsense dose of beer-related trivia. No fake beers, no gimmicky themes, no artificial flavors added. I will ask you a question, I will give you some options, and you will choose the answer.
Thank God. So
And
you don't have
we-
to sound stupid.
I know.
We will begin to my non-dominant as a result of asymmetrical prenatal positioning sinister side. In other words, to my left. With Dan.
One of these days, I'm going to pick the seating.
One of these days you will. Steph, make sure that you're always to my left.
Steph, you're fired.
So, this question for you, Dan, is which state has the most craft breweries? Is it New York, Colorado, California, or Pennsylvania?
The one I thought was not listed. I'm screwed. I would have gone Oregon. What was it again? New York, Pennsylvania.
New York, Colorado,
California,
or Pennsylvania?
Ooh, I want to go either Colorado or California, but I don't really know because California's big, but Colorado's dense. Not in a bad way. I mean, like densely populated, jam-packed into little areas.
So they're not idiots, is what you're saying?
Yeah, right. Let's go with Colorado.
Dan's going to go with Colorado. All right, Steph, what do you think it
since
is?
he said Colorado, I'm going to say California.
You're going to say California because Dan said Colorado. Brian, what do you think it is?
That's a good bet.
What are my choices?
New York. It's New York, Colorado, California, or our home state of Pennsylvania.
Gotta go Colorado.
Gotta go Colorado, says Brian. Colin, what do you think?
California.
Colin's going to go California.
And Jess probably knows the answer.
California.
Was it numbers or per capita?
Total number.
Ooh. Total number.
Total number, not per capita.
Isn't per
I'll go
capita
California.
Vermont?
Per capita
Yeah.
is in fact
Per capita
Vermont.
is Vermont.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll
Which is
go
not the answer to this
California.
question. You're going to go with California.
Just based on
All
size.
right. And Brian, what did you say? Did you say
Colorado.
You said Colorado. Okay, well, you were incorrect.
Thank you. As with most things in my life.
Welcome to my
Steph,
world.
Thank
Colin, and Jess were correct. It is California. California has about 500 breweries, more than twice as many as any other state.
Wow.
But with all of those breweries, the beer love in the Golden State is a bit lacking. California ranks 44th. We've had a
In
couple
consumption?
beers. 44th in per capita beer consumption. Yeah, at like
Wow. That's
'cause we're out here.
25.5 gallons per person per year. Has a low concentration of bars, 8.1 bars per 100,000 residents. It's in a 37th place in that ranking. But obviously it has a prominent place in craft beer history with
It was really
Sierra
tough.
Nevada.
Sierra Nevada, Anchor, and of course has Lagunitas and Stone and a bunch of
Ballast
other really
Point.
awesome Ballast Point.
Habanero Sculpin.
Wonderful, wonderful breweries.
You know what do you say about the 8.1 bars per 100,000 people?
Yeah.
It was really tough to find a bar when I was out there.
See?
Really tough.
That's
like,
why.
I
You should
go
have
to
just texted me.
In
I
fact,
would have sent you a list.
There
No,
are
we were-
36 states in which it would have been easier.
It was like we had to go to this really seedy underbelly of a bar, and they like didn't know how to make a drink that wasn't a beer, and it was interesting. The only reason I have to worry about drinks that wasn't beer is other reasons.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. You wanted your fuzzy navel. Just go with it.
Yeah, right. No.
A little
But
umbrella.
even then, they had Miller, Bud, Coors, and then Lagunitas, and that was it.
No. Moving on to Steph for our next question. And the question here is, how many styles of beer are recognized by the Brewers Association?
Oh.
Is it 141? Is it 152? Is it 87? Or is it 45?
87.
Steph says it's 87. Brian, what do you think?
I'm going to go with Steph, 87.
You're also going to say 87, Colin?
What were they?
It was 141, 152, 87, or 45.
142, was it?
It was 141, but you're going to go with that one? All right, you're going to go with that one.
Jess
All right.
knows.
Jess?
Yeah, I'm sure Jessica.
I missed the question. Sorry. ADD over here,
Zoning
guys.
out.
Yeah.
How many styles of beer are recognized by the Brewers Association
40.
in their style guidelines?
Whatever. Yeah.
So you're saying
45?
45?
Oh,
You're going
damn it.
45?
She's
All
right.
right. Dan, what do you think
Problem.
It's 141, 150, something.
it is? 152, 87, or 45?
I'm gonna shoot high, 152.
You're going to say 152. Well, the only person who was
Jess.
correct was Colin.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, 141.
There's that many?
The Brewers Association.
Wait, are you counting subcategories?
Yes.
Oh.
See, that's the whole. That's why I was 45.
I'm sorry. I'm
Information.
sorry.
Wait,
Totally
save
different.
face, dude.
I'm
Come on.
sorry.
Save face. No, you're good, dude. You did well.
I apologize. I wasn't.
I didn't know we were talking subcategories. Thank God.
Two ales and lagers. That's not correct. I'm sorry.
I should have been more
Bonus
specific.
point for Jim.
I should have been more specific. I apologize. I did put this question together earlier today, so it was kind of last minute. But the Brewers Association 2014 Beer Style Guidelines was published in March of this year, and it lists 141 styles, counting all the little different subcategories.
Interesting.
Column A, column B. This year's version actually represents the largest revision and reorganization to date of the style guideline. New styles that were added include the Australian style pale ale, Belgian style fruit beer, Dutch style Kuit, Kuwait, I think it's how it's pronounced. Anybody know? Kuwait. I think it's Kuwait, not Kuwait. That's a country. Historical beer and wild beer was added. Dan's favorite style of beer.
Hey!
Significant revisions include the removal of Australasian style pale ale, folding Asian style pale ale into international style pale ale, American style fruit ale, herb and spice, and indigenous / regional beer. If any of that made sense, as I stumbled over that last sentence.
I had a proctologist remove a Hewitt from me one time. If that helps.
That's not a beer.
I'm sorry.
That's not a beer. You are up first to answer this next question.
Is that in a gerbil family? I'm sorry.
Lemmy Winks?
Lemmy Winks?
Lemmy Winks.
Anyway.
Yes.
Brian.
Yes.
Due to its abundance of craft breweries, what U.S. city has earned the moniker Beervana? Is it Denver, Colorado? Is it Portland, Oregon? Is it Asheville, North Carolina? Or is it Boston, Massachusetts?
I'll go Portland.
You're going to go Portland, Oregon, says Brian. Colin, what do you think?
Seems obvious, so I'm probably wrong.
I was thinking Northwest because of the Nirvana kind of thing.
Yeah, I would have figured Seattle.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping that was going to happen, but I guess I'll go Oregon too.
Not an option. Okay, Portland, Oregon, says Colin. Jess, what do you think it is?
Asheville.
Asheville, North Carolina, says Jess. Stan.
The Beer Geek said Asheville, but I want to go Northwest.
Any city.
Let me just clarify, it's the Philly Beer Geek. All this abstract,
Yeah,
I got
that's
nothing.
true,
If
that's
it's
true.
a Philly question to me.
Yeah.
I will go with... I want to go Northwest also, because there's a reference to Nirvana, sort of-ish. So I'm going to go Portland.
You're going to go Portland as well. And Steph, what do you think?
Asheville.
Steph is also saying Asheville. Steph and Jess, unfortunately, are incorrect.
Oh.
Incorrect.
Incorrect.
That's impossible.
As is your grammar.
Yes. Everyone else was correct. It is Portland, Oregon.
Asheville was named something, though.
Yeah.
Several years in a row.
I call Asheville.
That's
Nirvana,
why
so
I
that
put
counts.
Asheville in there, because I knew it would throw you off.
I was fist bumping. What did I miss? What was the answer?
We got it right.
Hey! Second fist bump. Fist bump. Yeah, there we go.
Fist bumps all around. As of July 2014, Portland has the most breweries of any city in the world. There are currently 56 breweries within the city proper and 76 in the Portland metro area.
Oh, Asheville was named Beer City, USA.
That was it.
That's a slight
Not
difference.
So it
Beer
was named
Vana.
something.
No, the hipster mecca that is Portland, Oregon, leads the U.S. for percent of dollars spent on craft beer, and craft beer has been the largest category for dollars spent on beer at grocery stores continuously in the Portland market since September 2010. Oregon is home to well-known breweries such as Rogue, Deschutes, and Full Sails, and of course tons of others that only the cool kids know about. Moving on.
Which, by the way, really quick, Deschutes has come out to the East Coast now with distribution.
Yes.
I think through Origlio.
Yes.
Look at me with that random knowledge.
Hey.
You do not get a bonus point.
Damn it.
Colin, you're going to go first on this question. A little bit of history here. Who was the first American to brew lager in the United States? Was it Samuel Adams? Was it George Washington? Was it Dick Yingling? Or was it John Wagner?
George Washington.
You're going to say George Washington. Jess, who do you
John
think it was?
Wagner.
John Wagner says Jess. Dan.
Who is John Wagner? Like, that's
Who
not a
is?
Jeopardy answer. I mean, no, seriously, who is John Wagner?
I cannot answer that question at this time.
John Wagner is one of the options as the answer to
Come
this
on.
question.
All right, well, Jess jumped to that one really quick, so I'm going to agree.
You're going to agree? Okay. Steph.
Same
Steph is also
Wagner.
saying John Wagner. Brian.
I will appreciate it. Yeah, yes, John Wagner.
Okay. This is what happens when somebody who knows the answer goes first. Everybody else senses
You
the
have to-
confidence.
you have
and-
to- well,
So
you have to be-
unfortunately,
that's why
I'm sorry, second,
Yeah.
second, because Colin went first and was wrong. Everybody else was correct. Riding on
Thank you,
Jess's
Jess.
coattails.
That's it. Happy
Although,
to do it, guys.
I think Steph also knew it off the bat too.
Yeah.
In 1840, Bavarian brewmaster John Wagner risked punishment by removing the coveted lager yeast from Bavaria, and bringing it to America, where he was going to start a new life and a new way of brewing. He brewed the nation's first lager on St. John Street near Poplar in Philadelphia. He produced batches of 8 31-gallon barrels in his home.
31 what? What?
31?
31
Garrels?
Garrels?
31-gallon barrels.
Dude, I actually measure my beer at Garrels. All right. We're fine. I know what you're talking about. Don't worry about it.
It gets confusing, but
We usually
I
do
love
the game.
moving the tasting
We
segment out.
usually do
We're
the
doing
game
this
before
every
we start
time.
drinking this much
Every
beer.
time.
I have a Garrels to hectoliters.
I trip over my
conversion.
words enough when I haven't had any
Wait,
beer.
You're doing good, man. Don't worry about it.
What's the formula for that?
For what?
To see hectoliters to garrels.
Hectoliters to garrels?
Brian
Yeah.
knows that.
It's,
He's a nice guy.
it's three
the
cats.
same conversion factor
cats.
of metric tons to imperial shitloads.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll
So
add
since you
that
had
to
your,
my
your fancy Philly-based question, do you know what street St. John's is now?
Oh, turning the tables.
Elm? I don't know.
Oh, good
work.
guess.
Walnut.
Market. Columbus.
South.
American Street. It was up in Northern Liberties. There's actually a sign on that.
Yeah, there's a
yeah,
marker.
yeah, there's a little plaque over
Well,
there.
one of those blue
so-
history markers.
Yes.
saying, history happened here.
Beer
That's
history
it.
happened
That's
here.
it. Right here.
Right on this very spot. Yes, I saw pictures of that marker when I was looking up this question.
So you should have known.
How
what
many
the
questions
answer.
are we doing, by the way?
We're doing 2 more.
I love them.
Okay.
Not that I'm trying to rush you guys.
No. I usually do 1 question for the number of people playing. We have 1 extra since somebody had to leave the
I love
table.
it. I love it.
So we're moving on to Jess. This is not a Philadelphia question, unfortunately. But it is, in which city did a Roch beer originate? Was it Cologne, Germany, Munich, Germany, Bamberg, Germany, or Brussels, Belgium? Bamberg, says Jeff. Jess?
Thanks.
You're getting laughs from the audience.
I think we just got kicked out.
Wow.
You're doing awesome.
So, Dorothy, what's your answer?
All right, Wendy. What were the choices?
The choices were Cologne, Germany, Munich, Germany, Bamberg, Germany, or Brussels, Belgium. Bamberg, says Dan Bam Baker. Steph, what is your answer?
Bamberg.
Also Bamberg. Moving on to Brian.
I'm going Brussels.
You're going Brussels, Brazelgium.
Just the hell of it.
And Kathy? I mean, Colin.
Kathy is Brian's wife's name, by the way.
When Colin puts on the wig.
There's a Freudian slip, and I didn't even know it.
That's all right. He'll know it later.
I don't want to go with what was the first one?
The first one was Cologne, Germany.
All right.
You go
Okay,
Cologne,
whatever.
Germany.
He likes Cologne.
You are wrong. Bamberg is the correct answer.
Hey!
Yes, Dan and Steph were correct. Once upon a time, all beers were Rauch beers, so to speak. The term means smoke beer in German, and with the ancient kilning method of drying green brewer's malt over open fires, all grain picked up smoky flavors and passed them on to the beers that were made from them. As clean malt became the dominating brewing grist, however, certain breweries maintained the smoked beer tradition by continuing to use malt that had been dried over open flames. 2 breweries in Bamberg, Germany, Schlenkerla and Spitzel, have continued smoke beer production for nearly 2 centuries. And mercifully, our final question, turning back to my left.
Oh, come on.
Where it all began. And this question is...
Damn it, Jim.
Meadophily is the study of what?
What?
Is it beer bottle labels, proper glassware?
Where'd the music go?
The music walked out. It was tired of it. Beer and food pairing or beer history? Meadophily. Beer bottle labels, proper glassware, beer and food pairing, or beer history?
They're all important.
But
Wait, what
but
is
what
the
does the word mean?
Meadophile.
Can you spell it?
Meadophily. I can spell it. Meadophily.
Can you use it in a sentence?
Meadophily is the study of what? A, says Dan. Beer bottle labels. All right, Steph, what do you think?
What were the other options?
The others were
Food
proper
pairing
glassware, beer and food pairing, or beer history.
Proper glassware.
Proper
I don't
hashtag
freaking
proper
know.
glassware.
That's probably a better answer.
I have no
Brian, what do you
idea.
think
At least you said one of the options.
Jess knows. Look at her face.
I think
No, I know what it's not.
Meadophily, I think it involves wrapping small children in labels. So I'm going to go with that.
You're going to
I'll
go with that.
labels,
You're going to go
yes.
with labels. Okay, fair enough. Twisted logic, but
Thank you.
Colin.
Food.
Food?
Yeah,
Food and beer?
yeah,
food and beer? Sound good? All right. Jess, what do you think it is?
Give me the 4 again.
Beer bottle labels, proper glassware, beer and food pairing, or beer history?
I'll go glassware.
You go
on it.
hashtag proper glassware.
Everybody's
as
all
well.
over
Hashtag do I have
everybody's
ED?
all over the place.
Everybody is all over the place. And those who were correct are Dan and Brian. It
Whoa!
is beer bottle labels. Yes.
Hey,
Meadophily, the study of beer bottle
Holy
labels. Yes. an interesting pursuit.
Stop spooning you.
Unfortunately, the only information on the internet about meadophily is that it means the study of beer bottle labels.
Don't know how this happened.
No further information. So Steph is showing me her scorecard because she doesn't trust me to add up the score, which is
I
fair
hope I'm wrong.
enough.
I kind of do too.
How did this happen?
By my calculations, calculations.
What? Your
Mother,
what?
father, flip, flip. Our big winner today with 4 whole points is, to my left, the one, the only, Dan Bam Baker. Everybody else tied for second place with 3 points apiece.
Not yet.
Wait, what?
And Jim
You win,
gets.
dude.
Wait, what did Jim
Jim
shout?
gets
We all have
0.
to clap.
Oh, well, you know, on that note...
On that note,
I've got the clap and I'm giving it to you. I've got the clap and I'm giving it to you. I've got the clap and
Nobody
I'm
over there
giving
can
it
hear
to
the
you.
I know, that's the best part.
I've got the clap.
I do. I normally use that to test out the soundboard for levels, but now I actually got to use it in a recording.
thank you, baby Jesus, that train wreck is finally over.
How the hell did I win?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I was just thank God I didn't come in last. It's always good when the owners in last. I make it out of dead skunks and kittens. It's always.
I
a
mean,
good
on the way
feeling.
in, I saw a kitten in the parking lot. I mean,
You
is
saw
that...
a kitten.
Okay.
That one escaped.
Yes, he's escaped my grain mill.
Oh my God.
Beer me! Beer me! Beer me! Beer me!
I forgot to play that earlier. So, what do we have in front of us now?
This is our barrel soured pomegranate wheat. This is a 6% version of our 6% version of our normal pomegranate wheat beer. We add a little bit more sugar, a little bit more malt to bring it up. We barrel age it for 2 months on about 5 pounds of a raspberry sugar slurry to kind of get it to dry out a little more. And we use Brett Brooks as our souring agent. And it tastes wonderful. The raspberries really come through. The pomegranate kind of falls a little bit, and you get a lot of the nice sour tones. Is that Jim? Oh, sorry,
of course.
That was a good
Jim
oof.
is heckling me from the back.
I like it. It's not like really like lip puckery, but you do get that tingle in the jowls a little bit.
I think a lot of our, like I said, a lot of our sours, we don't want to go. We want to balance stuff, and I think this is one of the examples of sort of how you can take a sour beer, how you can balance it. You don't have to make it completely insane, crushingly sour. To sort of, so with the entry level sours is a good way to put it. What do you think, Jess?
Yeah, I call them either entry-level sours or young sours, because all of our sours, you're talking 2 to 4 months in the barrel, depending on the temperatures and the brewery and everything. So they're young, they're introductory, they're
shut up,
nice. They're Sours 101.
Sours 101.
It's delicious. You get the little bit of puckering, like you said, but you still get the nice fruit flavors in there, and you can distinguish what's in there.
And it adds a
Completely
nice
drinkable.
tartness to the pomegranate fruit flavor.
If
yeah.
this would have been the first sour you introduced me to, I would
See,
not
I
be
tried
so
to-
hard on
I
sours.
just pushed you in the deep
You went
end.
all
what
out.
was the sour IPA that we did when we did all wild
You
ales?
think I remember every beer we've ever done?
No, but it was Dan made like
June
a really
5th, 19.
Somebody's
funny.
probably screaming at their phone right now, telling us what it was.
Joe Man right now.
Yeah,
is
Joe Man
going.
right now. Hi, Joe Man.
Was it Pabst?
But Dan made the funniest noise.
It
He
was-
went, "Oh."
I don't even remember what episode it was, but I made a face like nothing else.
Was it the Fegley's Brew? Their Brett's IPA?
No, it
No,
had
that's
a
really
funny
good.
name. It
That
had
is
like
good.
one of those punny names. I can't remember what it was.
I'll fact check while we continue.
Steph is
to
fact
chat.
checking. It
Go
may
in,
not be on the
Rex.
beer list on our website because I may not have updated that far. I don't know. I'm a little behind on that.
But I do really like this one. Like it takes the recipe that you already had, but then it adds that completely different element that it's obviously something completely different yet still the same.
Absolutely. It's nice to have that base wheat recipe kicked up just a little, but what helps nice when you're trying to sour something, you want it to dry, and this one in particular dries a lot, which is really nice. We basically ferment. We ferment it out essentially. I mean, we ferment as much as we can in the fermenter. And then as soon as it's done, put it in, and then when you kick it on, all that raspberry sugar and a little bit of white sugar that goes in with the raspberries as well, pulls it down another level of dryness, and then going with the Brett really does a good number on it.
It was Steven Sour.
Steven Sour, that's what it was.
Magic Hat Sour
Yes,
IPA
Magic
that I
Hat
picked
Steven
up when I
Sour.
was in
What it
Vermont.
was. That was.
It was super good. I think that was my favorite of the night.
That was a really good one. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, a very similar one we did too, which we had for about maybe a month here. We did something called Jelly of the Month, in homage to Randy Quaid, because it's the gift that keeps on giving, Clark. And so it was the base wheat recipe. We didn't do anything different to it. We didn't jack it up. We didn't do nothing nuts, and we just put it in, no flavorings, no nothing, and added 3 different types of jelly to it. And so it was Jelly of the Month. It sat for 4 months in the sour barrels, and it's fun because you get to test it as it goes.
Right.
And after after 2 months, we're like, nah. 3 months, you're like, it's getting there. And then after, like, when we all had that same, oh, God, this is it. Because you get all that weird fruit from the jelly came through, and everything dried out completely. And
we actually have a little bit left in a keg back there that we could put on for you.
Oh, we do have. Do we have a little bit? Do we have remnants?
We have remnants.
Oh, we'll be trying that.
It's pretty damn.
All right.
It's
Jelly
pretty
of the
tasty.
month.
Jelly
All
of
right.
the month.
It was
Last
insane.
minute edition.
We like those.
I like the reference. And
Oh.
for anyone who might not know the reference, what is wrong with you? But it's Christmas Vacation.
Thank you.
Sorry, did anybody at the table not know the reference?
No.
Yeah,
we all
we all got it.
Steph?
Yes, I know it.
All right, good.
A
Thanks.
reference that Steph got.
I know.
actually
That's
something
That's a
rare.
rare thing.
That's really,
You know why,
really
Dan?
rare.
Because it did not have to do with Star Trek.
Yeah.
I was not going to miss this beer. I knew it was next. This is my favorite.
It's kind of a brewery favorite right now.
Yeah, this
Which
is
one is
our go-to.
Agata Cannon, which is a soured version of our Lepidamon Saison.
Tell them the Pedamon story.
Lepidamon. So Lepidamon was a French vaudevillian from the
Early
1900s.
Turn of the century,
Let's say
yeah.
early 1900s. And he was the first flatulent artist in vaudeville. And so he would.
heard of him, yeah.
Thank
So
you.
many fart references.
It's so great.
If you've seen Blazing Saddles, the sheriff was Lepidamon.
Well, no, the mayor. The mayor. He was
my
mayor.
bad, yes.
They gave him an homage in Blazing Saddles, Mayor Lepidamon. So yes, and his tombstone in France says "My life, my work." So obviously, the guy had a good sense of humor.
His picture is actually on our labels.
Yes.
Oh, really?
And he's doing a little like squat.
Well, yeah.
yeah. He's like got the lean going, so you can just imagine.
But this is our base recipe for a saison. It's really we do our regular Lepidamon saison is very similar in alcohol content, but it changes so much when you sour it. And so the regular saison, which we do have we'll have it out pretty soon. Black pepper, coriander really comes through a lot. It's a lot different than this, but the sour on this just really adds a note to it that just kind of accentuates kind of the beer a little more. I think it gets the malt a little more credit, stuff like that. What do you think, Jess?
It's a fight with the guys anytime I want them to keep Lepidamon as it is. 'Cause you're like, but it's so much better if we just put it in the barrels for 2 months, guys. Like,
I know.
Yeah. It's delicious. But for me, Lepidamon, that's my go-to brunch beer because that pepper note, that little spiciness,
Coriander.
off that coriander.
It's
It's like you want eggs, you want deliciousness like with that.
I agree.
But yeah, that's.
Yeah, I can't get rid of it. I want to keep it.
Yeah, we
like I said,
just brewed it,
We have
so
one
that's
up there,
good.
so
Yeah.
it'll be kegged and lovely soon.
It is a great brunch beer, though. You're absolutely right.
It is. It's that like go-to, like you want breakfast foods
Yeah.
with that, preferably on a hangover. It's just that much better.
I love to go to Memphis Tap Room. That's my favorite brunch spot, and I always whatever sour they have on tap, that's what I order. I love
Yep.
that with brunch for some reason.
Yes.
Delicious.
You could BYOB to the Tomcat Cafe.
If only.
Is that the jelly of the month?
Yeah,
That is jelly
we
of the
should
month.
do jelly and then Flanders and then because you got to finish on gentlemen. You
gotta
can't,
finish on
can't
gentleman.
not finish on the gentleman.
gentleman.
Plus, it's been sitting, so it's getting warmer.
Yeah, so it's getting even
Oh,
better.
it's getting so much better.
Which, by the
Delicious.
way, I like the name of the Flanders that I saw on the board. It's Stupid, Naked Flanders.
Yes.
I'm a huge Simpsons fan, and I watched as
We
much of the
wanted to
marathon
be
as I
a
could.
stupid, sexy Flanders, but we're obviously going to be sued.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean,
So we got the naked name in
how
there
many clips of
somehow.
Homer Simpson do I have?
Thank you.
Don't tell the internet.
Sorry, Internet. I don't have any clips that I could be sued for.
Nor have I downloaded a movie from you.
Never, ever,
Or
ever.
any music. Never.
never.
And I've never seen a porn site. Thank you.
What's porn?
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is. Welcome to Jelly of the Month, guys.
Jelly of the month.
Jelly of the month.
This is one of the weird off sours we did that took up our barrel forever. But man, is it weird and fruity and good.
It's got blackberry, black raspberry, and blueberry preserves.
Yes.
It's like a jelly-filled donut.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
Exactly.
delicious.
Isn't it weird?
There's
I want
Another
jelly
great
filled donut.
brunch beer.
And
yeah.
it plays so fun with everything.
There's a flavor I can't figure out. There's something there that I
Is
can't.
it
Fruity Pebbles.
It is not.
It
Fruity
is.
Pebbles.
You've got our
Not Fruity
secret
Pebbles.
ingredient.
you.
That's so good, dude.
But there is
It's
like
a berry blast.
There's
You get, like,
there's
a lot of different-
something
like
very
mellow
different.
blueberries, kind of harsher raspberries, but it all kind of dries out nice. It kind of plays at different levels.
Ooh, I could see this being really good if like you caramelize it and like make it a syrup and put it
hell
on
yeah.
some pancakes.
Ooh.
Oh, a little
Or
bit of
just
cream.
Or just drink it with your
Or
pancakes.
drink it, yeah. We'll drink it with the pancakes, but like have
Or
this.
dip
for-
your pancakes in it.
Ooh.
Let's get some pancakes.
Yeah, dude, I'm down.
All right.
Do they make pancake ice cream?
They
do a
should.
float.
They should.
That's a great idea, dude. Like a
Or have-
maple syrup kind of
Pancake,
like vanilla thing, a little bit of pancake
Chunks of
dough.
pancake in
I'm
it.
gonna write Ben and
Christ,
Jerry's.
That's a great idea.
Patent pending.
Patent pending.
Patent pending.
Trademark.
Yeah, yeah.
Beer Busters ice cream
Trademark.
coming soon.
Yes.
That's a pretty good idea.
Why the hell have we not done that?
Because Steph's a vegan.
We can make it with coconut milk.
Wayne, why have we not done that?
I don't know.
What are we doing next?
That's a good question.
Oh,
Oh, wait, which one is this one?
Flanders.
This is our
Stupid Naked Flanders.
Stupid Naked Flanders. Now,
To
As everybody
alcohol,
checks.
the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
That has been the background of my phone since I got my phone 2 years ago.
Hashtag don't sue us, Fox.
thank you.
Hashtag homage.
Hashtag fair use.
Now I'm going to give. I always give props to people that do stuff, and I give props to our previous brewer Matt Lothar Nuttall, or we call him Lothar. He was our first brewer. He was our first head brewer we hired. He's a good guy. We love him to death. He works in Chamonix Creek now. We love the Chamonix Creek to death. We love everybody to death. There's no hard feelings in any brewing thing. This was his recipe. He put it together. It sat in our barrel for a year. We had 3 barrels when we first started with this, so we were very happy to have 1/3 of our production of sours taken up. And then we got more barrels, and it was happier. But this sat for a year in a barrel. We brewed it again, and now it's sitting for another year. We can't wait to get it again.
And so what we're doing from
It's Brett Brooks.
Yeah.
It's
Pedio.
Pedio. It's Lacto.
Lacto.
You're gonna get when you taste it, you get a nice little sour on the end of your tongue. It is a Rick Flanders.
Jim likes to say that you kind of, when you first taste it, you might get like something like a sensation of putting a 9-volt battery to your tongue.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's a great
Yeah.
sour.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, right. So
And then on top of it, what we're doing from here on out is we'll release it annually since it takes a year to brew.
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Goddamn,
But we
that's
hold
sour.
about 10
No, that's a
gallons
sour.
back, and then reblend a new batch with the reserve. So every year it'll get increasingly complex, increasingly funky and awesome. So this is the purest it'll ever be. It's a shit show from
this
here
is
on
number
out.
one.
Batch 1.
And how many bottles do you have stashed away? So you
Well,
can
we did 200 bottles. We only did 200 bottles on the batch, so we're gonna take aside probably 24 of them, and we'll stash them up top and let them sit till next year and see how next year's batch, and then we'll have one
We've
of
sold
those.
the other half probably by now.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
less than 100 bottles if you want it.
very
Come
limited.
get them.
Yeah.
very limited releases, which we like on our sours.
Yeah.
So
There's like a subtle, almost like burnt quality I'm getting to it.
it's
It's
because
really
it's kind of a
interesting, yeah.
red ale. It's
Yeah.
it's you get a lot. Yes, I get that.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's weird.
I think this is my favorite of the sours so far.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Cheers, man. Hell yeah, over the top, over the top.
I think it might be mine too, but I don't know if that's because it's a Simpsons reference.
You
We'll
loved
try
it
it.
before you
Going
drank
in,
it.
yeah.
This was bottle conditioned on champagne yeast too, to kind of bring it up a little more, give it a little
Right.
more of that punch. You get definitely the dryness from the champagne yeast and
Champagne?
I could drink this at
Champagne.
midnight on New Year's.
stuff. Ball peen,
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
the fuck it is. Yes. I like the word peen.
Like the word peen. Hashtag peen.
Hashtag peen.
There's another hashtag off the day. Hashtag do I have HD?
Do I have HD?
VD.
HD.
I can blame it on my own handwriting, or I can blame it on the fact that I had a lot of beer. Yeah,
How about,
you take
how
your
about
pick.
hashtag
we
photos
still
of
have the big
VD
one
in
to go
HD?
yet.
Yeah, we're still going for the 10%.
I know,
after this.
right.
And what stinks is our 11.5% is in a barrel right now, which is killing me. But it's
Maybe
got
you can
it's
blame
got
it on
another
your
month.
ADD.
Well, yeah, probably. I haven't taken my meds ever, so
Good job, dude.
This is your meds.
I've always called beer self-medication.
I think so too, dude. To some extent. Did you ever suffer from crippling panic attacks and things like that?
Not crippling, but enough to make me want to drink.
Much better. See, I agree, dude. I agree. You ever want to like fight a human being and just choke him and bury him in a shallow grave?
All right, so
anyway,
you have no idea how much I hate people.
Welcome
overall.
I like you.
So after all these rude comments, we go to the gentleman.
The gentleman.
of course.
The gentleman knows no rude comments. The gentleman is always secure.
The gentleman is very dark. Oh, that sounded bad.
If you are not a gentleman and would like to hear some of the crazy things we just said, you can sign up for the Beer Busters newsletter at beerbusterspodcast.com.
Dude, that is such a great plug. I have never heard something better. So this is the gentleman.
The gentleman.
The gentleman. This is our 10% Imperial Stout. That was it was Jim's Murphy Savage clone recipe that we got bigger and bigger and bigger. We eventually got a apple brandy barrel was given to him for his 40th birthday, 30th, 40th, whatever.
One of them.
Some of them. And we dumped it. We put it in that barrel. And we thought, wow, man, the apple brandy works really well with the big malt bill and everything else, and the smokiness and all that kind of stuff. And then, and then we tried to do it a second time. We infected it. Hence our sour program. And so, so it all started well. But this is like I said, it's a very big kind of imperial. But you don't get a 10% kind of cloying alcohol from it.
Not at all.
No, it's a big malt punch, and the apple brandy really sits in the background, kind of nice.
Yeah, one of the first times I went to their first tap takeover over at Humeville, and they had this on, and I get a full glass of it, and I slam it quick, and it was like, that was awesome, that went down so easy. Like, yeah, it's 10%, it's crazy. I was like, oh,
give it 5 minutes.
There goes my night. Damn it. Yeah.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
This is delicious,
Nice,
and I
isn't it?
think the apple brandy makes it this come off of the sours we just had.
Yeah.
Really well.
Oh my
it
God,
follows
yeah.
up really well. Yeah,
It's really sweet.
We have a
malty.
few people who think it's actually a little sour because
Yeah, we
of
get
that apple,
notes of
especially
that.
when it's very, very cold.
Yeah.
When it's cold, that apple brandy comes through much more, and then it mellows as it warms.
If you drink this beer, drink it at 50 degrees, please.
Yeah.
50 degrees, 55.
Yeah. Colin's
Warm
exploding.
it up. Yeah, Colin just exploded. We
there's
apologize.
an air raid, but we got beer. We're good.
Yeah,
Yay, we're in a brewery at work.
that's the best place to have an air raid,
It really it is.
Or a zombie apocalypse.
Or, yes.
or both.
You like the gentleman?
I love the gentleman.
It's.
I just say it's funny.
I want the gentleman in my mouth.
the gentleman.
That's what she said.
Thank you. It was a slam dunk.
Colin's right there. He set that up for you.
It was it was really nice.
Line sinker.
Yeah.
It's like T-ball. You just set it there real nicely.
That was
Go ahead.
We do
hit the
that.
home run.
Very nice.
Sports. Sports.
This has always been probably my favorite naked beer.
Really?
Yeah. From
I
the
just think
beginning. I love it.
it's funny that the gentleman is the one beer that was served out of a measuring cup.
We're
Ran out of
classy.
pictures.
We ran out.
The sour gentleman. Aloha.
Aloha. It's coming out in a month.
Oh.
1 month it'll be ready.
good.
Hopefully.
It's the 20 pounds of pineapple sitting in a soured barrel with Brett, and it's 11.5%, and it is just phenomenal. Really good beer.
Scary crazy
Scary.
because it's
Delicious.
so good, and you can just
The problem, the problem
you can
is
get lost.
problem with that beer is the fact that my wife
Oh,
and my
God.
wife's sister love it so much that they come in and they just pull armloads of it out. And it's like, look, we're making this one barrel at a time. I mean, we make 200 bottles, and I think about 65 bottles each batch just go to our families. And they show up in our place, and they show up in our house, and they show up everywhere. And it's just
So if
it's
we're
ridiculous.
ever out of it, just hunt down.
Hunt down my wife.
That's
and,
it. She has it all.
She has, and she's hoarding it, and she will fight you
Kathy,
to the
yeah.
death.
Yeah.
You had this as well. The last time I had Aloha was at the Philly Beer Fest that the three of us went to.
Oh, at the Navy Yard.
At the Navy Yard.
Oh,
Yes,
Oh,
that's
yes.
when we had that. So
many
you guys had it
beers
too.
ago.
Many beers ago.
That was many beers ago. That was before we started the podcast.
It was.
Wow.
It was. It was March of last year.
March
Yeah,
of
it's
last.
And we
Wow.
started in May-ish.
May, April.
Was that the first batch?
We recorded April, started May.
I believe it was the first batch, yeah. Because I had it the very first time I had it was when
why
it
you're
was
here.
an accident
Oh,
here.
yes.
I
And
had
then
it
it
then,
actually
too.
turned into something.
Yep.
So delicious.
Yeah, when it was an accident, they were all like, "Oh, we hate sours. This beer's all fucked up." But some people tell us it's good.
Yeah, well, I was here
and
with
that's
Brian,
it.
and we were chatting. You were like, "Oh, you like sours? Let me get this accident that we did." in the
Exactly.
cellar, and you
That
can
was
try
it.
I had the same
Delicious.
thing, and I was like, "No, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I'll take this corny off your hands."
Was that the hot rod and hops thing?
No, that
that?
was here.
Oh, yeah.
when you had the first messed up barrel of Gentleman.
Yeah.
and there was no fruit on it. It was just straight, which
straight
is why I
up.
want to do just a straight sour Gentleman. you know?
We should. We need more barrels.
We do.
We'll
I'll
get
get
more.
one.
Anyone out there that has barrels to give away, Naked Brewing will take them off. your hands.
Weyerbacher is very good for getting us their
Yeah.
barrels.
And we have more
we're
coming.
very good. Yeah, we got more coming. We were really hoping to like triple our sour production, but anyway, it's good times. You guys tired? You guys good?
We're thinking.
You guys look tired,
We're looking-
man. You bummed me out, man.
Tired?
We're looking at
Jesus Christ, man.
we're looking at doing.
All I know is I got more beer here, so I'm gonna keep drinking. You know what it is? Like I do this is my Friday, so I put in my 70 hours.
This is
Friday,
Brian.
It's an actual Friday.
Exactly. 70 hours this week.
So for everything you just missed, beerbusterspodcast.com, of course. But while we're still here and you're currently listening to us without having to put in any other effort, what are the favorites at the table?
Gentleman has always been my favorite. I love that beer, but there are some good sours on the table. I really loved the Flanders. I love the Sour Saison, but I have to go with my girl Jess and the jalapeno.
I've got to put in
That's
a question.
the beer I could drink and drink and drink and drink and drink, and I love it.
I have to ask a question about the Gentleman. I don't remember what we said about it at this point because that was like 45 minutes ago. I know I
That
liked
means
it.
the Gentleman is working.
All right.
It's delicious.
The gentleman has done his job.
Wayne?
Like a true gentleman.
I'm going to have to say the gentleman, though I really did like, what was the last sour we did? The Flanders?
Jelly of the month?
Or
Flanders.
Flanders.
Oh, was it Flanders? Yeah, we did
Flanders.
Flanders after
Stupid
that. Sorry.
Naked Flanders.
Stupid Naked Flanders was a
With
very
an umlaut, which I
a
love.
close second, yes.
And 2 O's.
Yes, of course.
Very
important.
Dan?
Crap, that's my turn now, isn't it? Oh, God. I feel like I'm ordering at a restaurant after everybody else, and now I don't know what to say because I don't know what I want. But, oh, my God. What do we have, 11 beers tonight? 10 beers?
We drank
Yeah.
a lot of beers.
We
We make a lot of beers.
They were all very
I
good.
know, it's
Oh,
weird.
Jelly
God.
of the Month was really good.
That was
Yes,
really
it
good.
was.
Yeah. That was the most interesting, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Flavor-wise, yeah.
you know what? I think I have to go
My
back.
new brunch beer.
I got to go back towards the
Put it
Put it
beginning,
on
I
tap
think.
at Memphis Tap Room, please.
I'll make that happen. I'll
Sorry.
talk to Brandon.
There we
Okay.
go.
Boom. Or, in my
Awesome
living
guy.
room. That's also an option. Right on tap. Just saying.
It's the better option.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'm probably buying a kegerator soon, so we'll talk.
Noelle can make us all breakfast.
So,
I hear she makes a mean gluten-free pancake. So I'm in.
oh my God, she puts chocolate chips in them, and they're so good. And she cooks the bacon
Okay,
with it.
Dan,
and-
what's your favorite?
All right. It's really tough, and I probably say that every single time. But it's
I say that
really
all the time.
tough.
I tried to be succinct this time.
Wayne, gun to your head.
Gun to my head, I'd take the gentleman.
All right.
When in doubt, always take the gentleman.
There you go. It's impressive.
Oh God, gun to my head. I don't know what I would take. Okay. Considering my growing knowledge of sours and appreciation for them, I got to go back to the beginning, and I'm probably gonna go with. I don't know.
Reference.
But that was after the beginning.
Of course it was.
true.
Do you think the pomegranate wheat sour? You like the
See,
pit
the
of Mon?
pomegranate wheat sour was a very welcome change to my knowledge of pomegranate, which is phenomenal. But I think I gotta go jalapeno. I think.
Nice.
There you go.
High five
Nice.
for Steph. Apparently,
Can't go wrong with that.
It smelled like jalapenos. It tasted like jalapenos, but it didn't burn like jalapenos, which
was
is
amazing.
awesome.
So what
That
he's saying
means-
is, I got the heat. I didn't get the heat like I get when Steph brews beer.
Exactly. Steph, what I'm really saying is, on the way out, it's not going to hurt.
It's like Steph's best jalapeno beers, but without the pain.
There's time and place for spiciness in a beer, but this serves well for
Super good.
every time and every place. But every damn beer I had tonight,
Ooh.
and the pen was thrown, so you know it's true.
Ooh, I like
every
that.
beer was good.
Thank
So
you.
good.
I appreciate it, guys. I really appreciate it.
When
gotta-
Dan throws his pen, he's getting
I
emotional.
like it.
Yes, this is
Getting all crazy.
Or he's had a lot of beer.
The-
How can you not?
basically the same thing.
Yeah.
All right, it's your turn.
We got to turn the tables.
Sophie's choice.
What does that mean?
Jinx, you owe me a
That
Coke.
means you have to say what your favorite.
What's your
My favorite beer?
You know Sophie's
Tonight.
Choice?
I've seen Sophie's Choice.
Well,
Actually, I was
No.
I was the Nazi guy that made somebody. I made her do Sophie's Choice.
You're-
I'm very old. I would suggest that Gentleman is just. I love the Gentleman. It takes me so long to make it that I have to love it more. Yes, Gentleman.
All right, Colin.
Colin?
Your turn.
I really love the Agra Cannon.
Super good.
Sour Saison. I could drink it all the time. If that was the only beer there was, I would be happy.
Wow.
That's a big statement.
Dang.
Yeah. And finally,
How do you follow that?
Queen Goddess.
I kind of gotta. So the only reason I'm not choosing jalapeno,
Because yours.
Because I already did.
obviously, but
blunt.
because my batch at home is way spicier. So,
It really is.
So
it
we're going
really
to
is
Jess's
not.
house.
yeah, pretty much, yeah.
No doubt.
But other than jalapeno, I'd say Flanders. I'm digging on the Flanders.
Stupid naked Flanders.
Stupid naked Flanders.
Stupid Naked Flanders.
Stupid naked Flanders.
I love it.
Jim, what's your favorite beer?
Jim, favorite.
Right
You gotta
now
pick
on
one. You
top.
gotta pick. You gotta pick.
Hey,
Agar.
that was a quick
He
answer.
loves the
so
sour
you know.
saison.
He knows that. We all know that.
We all
Yeah.
knew that.
Nice.
You didn't even have
He's
to
been
ask
chosen.
him. We could have
No,
told
we
you
could have told you.
Okay.
Well,
Well, I'm gonna quit saying horrible things, and I really hope the police don't come find me. And if you do, don't dig in the basement.
Brian
Please.
never quits saying horrible things. He's just saying that. He
really is
doesn't.
bad. I'm trying. My little my small disk drive is now turning back, going, God, did I talk about killing children? What a horrible.
So many times did you?
Horrible. God, I'm just a horrible person at times. Whatever.
cold light of day.
I mean, yeah, I know, but yeah, it sucks. Whatever. It'll
So
be funny.
should we tell our listeners where they can find Naked on the interwebs if they want to come hang out with Brian? and drink
Besides
beer?
Yes.
Googling the word naked, you can go to Twitter, which is at Naked Brewing Co., Facebook.com/naked-brewing-company, and Instagram is at Naked Brewing.
Thank you.
Will we see pictures of Colin in the thong on Instagram?
Maybe.
Maybe.
If he gets out of the
Follow.
basement.
You don't want to see that.
He looks so confused as you're saying that.
I don't know if you'll get like
Nobody wants to see that.
you'll get. I don't know if you'll get more followers if you do have those pictures or if you don't.
We just want followers.
Poor Colin. He's like, I don't
We
know
love
what-
Colin.
I don't know
How
what to say.
how did I end up in a
No.
thong? I don't know.
I hang out with this guy every day.
Every day.
All the time, then, don't
used
you?
to
It's quite horrible.
Yes.
I'm used to it.
There's nothing I can't take.
Yeah, that's what she said. Thank you. Thank you.
See,
God,
I
that's why I
figured-
love you, Jed. You're so good.
I figured you were going to say challenge accepted, so every day is something worse for him. Sorry, Colin.
Dude, I'm holding a gavel in my hand, and this is not the end I would use. This is more the welcome end. So, why am I like an S&M dude? I'm not that dude. I'm pretty much. I got a wife and 2 kids. I'm a nice guy. I don't do this kind of stuff.
Where does this cigar go?
Well, I want Jess to actually hold it and give it the thing so we get some pictures. Or I would Colin to do something with it. Easy. Colin's very homophobic. We gotta work
On that,
He's not. I'm totally kidding. I'm just being an asshole. Being a total asshole.
Hashtag I'm totally.
Hashtag I'm totally
I
kidding.
should be. I'll be quiet now.
no.
You guys should probably get out, and I'll be quiet.
On that note, before I have more
you.
editing to do, this brings us to the very sad end of another episode of Beer Busters Podcast. And it was a guy by the name of Freddie Freak, whoever the hell that was, that says, beer will get you through times of no money more than money will get you through times of no beer.
Fair enough.
Story of my life. I can't thank the people at Naked Brewing Company more than I can right now than welcoming us into where you are and having such a fun time. Your beers are awesome and it was amazing. Thank you so much for having us here.
Thanks, guys. It was great.
As always,
Thanks,
I am Dan Baker, joined by my co-host and virologist,
Steph Hefner.
and our from entertainer.
Way bigger.
Until next time, my friends, we bid you the fondest of adieux.
Do you think I should have this rash looked at?
Hashtag what have we be.
Great close.